Hey everyone, welcome to Block-vember. So Block-vember is going to be me for the next 22 days of November, going through the most common blocks to entrepreneurial success. I discovered these blocks as a hypnotherapist. I'm at almost 500 hypnotherapy sessions now. And when my clients fill out their questionnaires and during sessions, I kind of check off what is blocking them to their goal or to their next level. And as I was looking over the files, I identified 55 blocks. But then there are 22 that are pretty common amongst all of those clients. So my clients are 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs. So at each level, when they're trying to hit each level, they come up against different blocks. But these 22 blocks seem to be common no matter what level you're at, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, seasoned entrepreneur. These blocks oftentimes show up when you're trying to hit your next level. So let's get started with block number 1 today, which is imposter syndrome. So I want to talk about the myth of imposter syndrome. I say that it's a myth because it's loosely defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. And it disproportionately affects high achieving people. But when I learned the history and who founded and discovered imposter syndrome, the concept, female psychologists, and they focused more on high achieving women. And during the time in the 70s, we weren't aware of things like gender bias. I mean, we're aware of it, but we didn't have those terms: gender bias, internalized oppression, childhood trauma, all these things that can affect marginalized groups to create these feelings of self-doubt. No matter how high they go, the society is always going to tell you that you are not worthy, and the success that you have, you shouldn't. So let's talk about how imposter syndrome impacts you in business. So the first thing is that you don't like, and these are sneaky signs of imposter syndrome. I know there's tons of articles that talk about it, but these are really specific ones that I noticed with my high performing clients across all genders and racial backgrounds. So you don't like to work in groups for fear you won't get credit. So this may be something that you experienced in childhood, in school, that you worked with a group and they just took credit for your idea based on your marginalized identity. So now you just don't want to work in a group because you fear that you won't get the credit that you deserve. 2, you overwork yourself on projects so you feel worthy of success. I posted something on Twitter that said, "Beloved, you may be saving money, but you are using your time and energy, which is more valuable." And people were like, "Oh, but I want to learn this, so I feel like I know what I'm doing on my way to the top." And it's like, I went to school with the 1%. None of them have ever said that to me. Like, I want to know what I'm doing at the top. They already think they know what they're doing. So with marginalized identities, like, you often overwork yourself just so you feel worthy of the success you have. But by the time you get to the top, you are burnt out and tired, and you can't even enjoy the success you have. So we really need to cut that out. 3, you have difficulty sticking to one identity or project. Like, you always feel like, oh, maybe I am a systems coach, a mindset coach. Oh no, I'm an alchemist. Oh no, I'm a healer. I'm this. It's really difficult for you to stick to one because you never feel right in any of these. And so because you don't stick to one, you're never going to feel comfortable in it because you don't stay in that identity or use that title long enough to do so. You become obsessed with others copying you because you feel replaceable. I myself, I'm guilty of this. Like, there was a time where I stopped tweeting because I kept seeing people literally take my words from my tweets and repost it. People weren't talking about emotional regulation. People weren't talking about ADHD in business. People weren't talking about these things. And all of a sudden they started talking about it and they didn't credit me. And I just felt like, you know what, I'm not going to post anymore. But then the thing is, sure, they can copy my content, but they can't copy the results that I provide my clients. My clients are the biggest names in Hollywood, in social media, in Silicon Valley. If they attempted to get those type of clients, they would fall flat on their face because they were copying my content, but not my actual strategies and my talent. I am not replaceable. So once you understand your true value add in your business, you won't worry about people copying it, because they'll try, even if they have lower prices, people will try to work with them, but they'll eventually come back to you to get the real deal. Number 5, you compare yourself to anyone and everyone, even though they're not in your field or industry. I remember when I first started out, I'm a service provider. I was comparing myself to people that just like had ebooks on Gumroad. And I'm like, how did they just hit 100K and I'm struggling with my service? It's like, we're in different industries. And then I could easily hit 100K with less clients. They have to sell a ton of books, have to manage a lot of customers to get 100K. Do I really want that type of business? No, you have to start to ask yourself, would I really change places with this person? So then why am I worried about them and comparing myself to them if I wouldn't change places with them? Number 6, you attribute your success to luck. But the thing is, you also do this to others by downplaying their success. Like, oh, she just got lucky because she was one of the first people to do this. Or, oh, maybe if I started my blog in 2012, then I would be a popular influencer too. So many people started their blogs in 2012, but they're not where a lot of people are now, right? So look at when you need to stop attributing your success to luck and look at everything that you've done to get there, to really value the work, your knowledge, your experience that got you here in the first place. And you'll start to give that same grace to others as well. Number 7, you take courses, get certifications, strive to be smarter than everyone, but get upset when someone less certified succeeds or accomplishes something that you felt you deserved. Like, I'm in the process of getting my master's and then my PhD. And then I see therapists, actual licensed mental health professionals, get upset that there are mental health influencers that have a bigger audience and more influence than them. You kind of have to look at yourself in this regard. Sure, you have the certifications and you may be smarter than everyone, but how does that come across? How's your messaging? How's your communication? Are you talking to people like you're smarter than them? Nobody likes a know-it-all. So you kind of have to take accountability and say, those people are listening to this person because they're communicating with them on a certain level. You need to look at your language. If you want to help the same type of audience, you need to work on your language. I have a certain following on social media, but I don't have the biggest following. But I'm really happy with my following because at this point, it's filled with millennial entrepreneurs. That's who I want to work with. They're tech savvy. They get it. They think fast. They still, they have experience. They know what has happened in the past and what the possibilities are of the future. And they can really get going because they have also the disposable income to do it. And so it's like, for me, I'm not going to just talk about manifestation 101 or shifting or anything like that, because I don't really want to work with teenagers. Like, they're going to ask me questions like, what am I going to do when my mom's mad at me? Girl, you better leave. Like, I'm in my 30s. I'm like, bye, girl. Like, I don't know what to tell a teenager. I haven't been a teenager in so long. So you have to look at the audience that you actually want and the audience that they have. So let's talk about how to release imposter syndrome. So 1, you need to stop blaming yourself for feeling this way. because a lot of people feel this way, and it's by design. We are inundated with messages of unworthiness, that we need something to fulfill us in every area of our life. I remember, oh my gosh, why can't I remember? Tracy Ellis Ross. She had a TED Talk where she is so accomplished. She has 2 successful shows under her belt, commercial opportunities, all the amazing friends, all these things. But people will still come up to her and say, oh, but you're not married and you don't have kids. So she is left to feel like imposter because of these people sending these messages like, you don't have this, so you're not truly accomplished. So she has to fight that all the time. So it's like you're constantly fighting these messages. So stop blaming yourself for feeling this way. It's natural and it's okay. 2, you next have to find the source of your insecurities. Sometimes it's as easy as stop talking to this person that is projecting onto you that you aren't enough. Sometimes it's to stop following accounts that say that, muting words on Twitter, muting accounts on Instagram, muting these people on TikTok that are making you feel that you are not enough because you haven't hit 6 figures, you haven't hit 7 figures. All of these things. Find the source of your insecurities. And if it's external, then you could do all that. But then if it's internal, then you need to get to work on your beliefs. You need to stop feeding your doubt monster. What happens is when you fail or you mess up, you kind of put that in, you feed the monster, say, see, I knew I wasn't worthy. I knew I wasn't supposed to be here. Stop feeding it. Start to look for reasons why you deserve what you have, why you deserve to be here. And then you will soon starve that doubt monster. So by seeking this evidence of competence, you switch and you focus on the reason why you're so good. So when people ask you, you can easily let them know. Or you don't even have to let them know, because you are focused and you're on the frequency of competence. You just exude competence. No one will question you. And this is funny because this is something that you can easily shift into that frequency or that identity of someone that's competent. I remember I got a traffic ticket, and I was like, man, I need to shift into someone that knows the law. I have no legal background whatsoever. And I just thought, I am Annalise Keaton. So I dressed up, did my hair. I had a Annalise Keaton wig. So when I walked into the courthouse, they thought I was someone's attorney. I did it so well. I shifted to that legal competence frequency so well that the people were like, oh, are you here to see your client? I was like, no, I am the client. They're like, oh, okay, go over there. And so the judge was acting like I was part of the legal community. They were laughing and talking. I got the ticket's gone. I just paid like a fee or something. And it was just really interesting how you could just really shift into that frequency of competence and no one will question you anymore. And then the last thing is to easily overcome imposter syndrome now is to start connecting with your future self. So by the time you climb the ladder, by the time you hit 6 figures, 7 figures, or have the thing that you want, or become a mother, or become a father, become anything, you've already been tapping into your future self. So by the time the future arrives, you'll be prepared. You're not going to be caught off guard. It's going to be very natural for you to wear this future you. The next thing is you can start to reprogram your mind with affirmations. So we have a site that has all the Block-vember affirmations that you could go to, and it's linked in my bio, and it's also linked in the YouTube description if you're watching this on YouTube, so you can easily access this website and download these 111 affirmations to help you release imposter syndrome. Then you can start, and so with affirmations, you can reprogram your mind within 67 days or 90 days, depending how consistent you are. But then if you want to shift faster, you can use the subliminal set. There's an Overcome Imposter Syndrome subliminal set. There's a daytime subliminal that you can listen to while you're working, and there's a nighttime subliminal that you listen to while you fall asleep. or overnight to help you reprogram your mind and release imposter syndrome. So essentially, you're connecting with your future self with these subliminals. So you really feel this shift. You feel the competence that I was talking about when I walked into that courtroom with no legal background. Then the next thing that you can also do is shift with self-hypnosis. I have a future self-hypnosis system that you can also get access to. All the links are linked below in the YouTube description, so you can easily tap in. So that's it for today's block, Imposter Syndrome. Hopefully this will get you started on releasing it, because you are definitely worthy of the success that you worked so hard for. All right, talk to you later.